Hey guys, NJ Diz here again. Um, I was preparing for one of my videos and I got a very nice request from one of my viewers asking if I would do a review on some of the places that I've been staying at over the years, some of the Disney hotels, some of the lodging. And I think that's a great idea because depending on where you stay can eat up a lot of your budget. So I wanted to go through some of the hotels that I've stayed at personally over the years. Been doing it for well over 20 years now, so we've stayed quite a few places, and there's a lot of places we like, and there's one or two we're not really that thrilled with. So I hope to get to it. Give you a little sense of what I feel. Please keep in mind that these are just my opinions and just what we happen to encounter. Just because something happened to us doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen to you, or it doesn't. Don't let my review be the defining review. Don't stay at some place because because me and my family had a bad time there. If you're really looking forward to staying at a place, do that. It's your vacation. I just want to, give you a little bit of what we encountered when we were there. So, I think the first place I'm going to start off with, because total, I think we've stayed there for more, in that grouping, for more years than anywhere else. Wanted to start off with the moderate resorts in Disney. Um, Starting off with the Coronado Springs Resort. We stayed there. We stayed at the Coronado Springs Resort in 1998, and that was the first. It was its first year that it was open. It opened in I think August of 1997, so late summer, and we were there the following April. Um, Very nice, obviously, because it was brand new. Very nice, very clean. The hotel is well laid out, where some other hotels not so much, but it's very good. It's semi easy to find your way around. Um, it has a nice food court. I didn't like the particular way this one was laid out. It felt like everything was all like bunched into one area. It's like it felt like, and maybe things have changed since then, but it just felt like random food stands in the middle of this big area, and it was you just looked around and you're like, what am I supposed to be doing? It just felt very disorganized. Maybe it's changed. Maybe it was just us. Um, the one thing that me and the family didn't particularly care for as far as Coronado went, and it has nothing to do with the rooms. The rooms, basically, all moderate rooms are the same. Basically, the same dimensions. You get two double beds. Basically, the only thing that changes is the decor of the room, with Coronado having like that southwestern, Texas kind of feel to it. But the one thing we didn't like about Coronado Springs was the fact that it was out in the middle of nowhere. It feels like Coronado Springs is an Animal Kingdom hotel, an Animal Kingdom area hotel, and it just feels like you're out in the middle of nowhere. It, we always rent a car. So, we've never had to deal with Disney transportation, so I don't know how their times and how it would feel on a Disney bus or anything like that. So we've always rented a car. But it just feels like you're driving down this long stretch of nothing. There's nothing but trees around you, and you don't feel like you're right in the center of the magic like you would if you were staying at one of the three deluxes around the Magic Kingdom, or uh, in somewhere close to downtown Disney. You are off the beaten path, and it just felt like we were driving forever to get to where, well, with the exception of the Animal Kingdom, but it felt like wherever we went, it like we were driving forever to get there. Maybe that's just perception, but other than that, really don't have too many bad things to say about the hotel. And it's hard to have bad things to say when it's the first year that it's open. If I were to tell you that we stayed there that April and the rooms were dirty, or something was broken in the first year, then they'd have problems. But I mean, other than the fact that it's off the beaten path and it's, spread away from, main park life, really have no complaints. It's nice. They do have a very big business convention center, so depending on the time of the year and your luck, you may or may not get hit with some company or some business having a convention or a meeting there. But that's true of a lot of the Disney hotels. So, mm, you know. Um, the next hotel is Port Orleans. Now, since we've stayed there, Port Orleans kind of expanded or shifted, and now you have Port Orleans, which is the original hotel, and you have the French Quarter, which used to be the old Dixie Landings. We never stayed at the Dixie Landings slash French Quarter side of it. We were at Port Orleans. Um, Port Orleans. Uh, I personally didn't think that the buildings were arranged in an easy configuration. I felt like we walked around a lot of time, and not the time walking around, but it felt like you were lost inside the grounds. And if you look at a picture, like a map, like in the Birnbaums or the Passporter, if you look at the layout of the hotel, it doesn't seem like it should be that confusing. But for us, it was when we were walking around. The hotel, the rooms itself were very nice. Like I said, um, standard moderate resort room. The colors in the room, I wasn't really impressed with. It's kind of um, muted type colors, and where the Coronado Springs and Caribbean have like a zesty, colorful, poppy appearance, and this didn't. This was like kind of toned down. Um, but really nice pool area. I mean, definitely one of the draws with that pool area is the serpent slide. It's a big dragon that you climb up and you slide down its tongue. You'll see it in almost every Disney planning video. But basically the only complaint I have at Port Orleans is that the layout of the buildings felt disorganized to me. That could just be me, and I don't think if you were looking to stay there, that should be a determining factor. I'm just letting you know how we felt when we were there. And if that's really the worst thing you can say about a hotel, that's not that bad. Um, the Caribbean Beach Resort. That hotel we've stayed at probably the most times. We were, as far as moderate resorts, we were the most comfortable in that hotel. Caribbean Beach, to me, seems like one of the best laid out hotels you'll find. It's all your groups of rooms are located around a central lake, and it feels like you're walking in a circle. If you leave your hotel room and you get on the main path around the lake, you can circle the whole lake, and you'll go from point A all the way around back to point A. It's very easy to get to um, the main house where your food court is, and stuff like that. Feels very well laid out. Doesn't feel like you can get lost. If you walk towards the center, you hit that main path and the lake, and you can walk around. If you walk out of your hotel, you're going to hit your parking lot for your building. It doesn't seem like there's too much room to get lost. Um, we've stayed at all of the island. Each grouping is isn't building one, building two. Each group of buildings is an island in the Caribbean. We've stayed in Martinique, Barbados, Aruba, Jamaica, Trinidad North. We haven't stayed in Trinidad South. The reason being is if you look at a map, every one of the building groupings that I've mentioned is is centralized around the lake, with the exception of Trinidad South. Trinidad South is, if you think of like an upside down Q, everything else is around the O. and Trinidad South would be that tail that sticks off. And if you're in Trinidad South, it's quite a walk to get to the central building where the food court is. And that's if you're at the closest point of Trinidad South. If you're all the way at the end of Trinidad South, you really have a major walk. I don't know if that makes a difference to you, walking a little bit extra, but I'm just saying, I would definitely ask for anything but Trinidad South because of the walk. The rooms, like I said before, the rooms are all the same. It doesn't matter. Everybody has the same stuff. The room design is very nice, bright colors in the room. And now they redesign. We just stayed there recently, a year or two ago. Yeah, a year or two ago, and they redesigned the main pool. For the pirates, Caribbean Beach, Pirates of the Caribbean. So, they redesigned the main pool with a pirate theme. And I think something like 600 rooms have a pirate theme too, where, the beds look like boats and the sheets look like gold and treasure and everything like that. Really sharp looking rooms. We didn't happen to get one of those rooms when we were down there. We didn't specifically request it. But the rooms are very nice. The food court is I think one of the best. You walk in and it's a straight wall, and if you're walking down like this way, on your left hand side is all the different food kiosks. You have a little bakery, you have a pizza shop, a burger stand. The one on the end does basically your little like quick stuff like apples, bananas, waters, soda, stuff like that. And on your right, you have the seating area for the quick service counter for the restaurants that I just mentioned. And you also have a sit down restaurant, which is very nice. So you have really a wide selection of things to choose from in Caribbean. Um, it's a very nice hotel as far as people go, as far as staff, cast members. The cast members are very nice. Never had a problem with anybody there. I mean, that's typical Disney. So everything's really nice at Caribbean. Um, if you read the official guide to Walt Disney World, Birnbaum's, their best pick for a moderate resort is Port Orleans. I'd have to disagree and say Caribbean. We've stayed at Caribbean so many years, and we were just so happy with everything there, with the layout, with the rooms, with the price, being that it's a moderate resort and price is always a factor. So I would have to pick Caribbean. If I was picking a moderate resort to stay at, I would have to pick Caribbean. It has a lot going for it that small things like having a good layout, being organized around a central hub, sometimes doesn't come into play in a lot of the guides you read, but it makes a difference if you're kind of sightseeing your hotel and looking around. It does make a difference. So that's my take on the moderate resorts. I will be coming back with a video on the deluxe resorts. If you have any questions on any of the hotels that I talked about, if I missed some, it's so hard to go over every little detail of every hotel in 15 minutes or less. So, but if you have any questions, any comments, any stories you'd like to share, please post them. Post a video, email me, message me, whatever you want to do. I'm always on. I'm always checking my messages, so I will get back to you as soon as possible, okay? Thanks for watching. I hope you tune in for part 2, where we're going to go over the deluxe resorts. Until then, this is NJ Diz signing off. Thanks for watching. Bye.